Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, Rangers. It's me, Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest. It's 2024. Let's do this. Here's the credits, of course. Mike Ruekberg sang that song at the beginning, and he wrote that song, and he sang it with Sarah Cohen, his wife, and he will sing the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Also, Patrick Brady, still putting this together. Video, audio, all of it. He's amazing. So, and Vilmos doing JackieKashianStore.com. Squarespace is doing the regular Jackie Kashian page, and I'm thinking of moving the Dork Forest and dorkforest.com away from WordPress because it's driving me nuts. But those are the credits. But if you go to JackieKashian.com, you can get Dork Forest merch. You can get my stand-up merch. You can get my stand-up CDs and DVDs, which you'd have to have devices for those. You can also see videos and find out any number of things. I have another podcast called The Jackie and Laurie Show, but the Dork Forest is the flagship. 18th year. We're doing it, you guys. You can go to my Bandcamp or my YouTube for extra content. Please donate, is what I'm saying. It's 2024, and I think we've been in this long enough. Why don't you guys, everybody send me $100? That's what I'd like you to do. You can PayPal me. There's links all over the pages. You can Venmo me at Jackie Kashian. You can find me at a stand-up show and hand me a sweaty wad of 20s. Do something. But I love doing the show. I would love to make some money, is what I'd like to do. In other news, I'm sure there's more things that I should talk about, but I can't think of them. But let's listen to who's going to dork out about something, because that's my favorite part. Thanks for listening, you guys. You're all great. Let's get into the show. It's me in my garage, in my home. Hi, Jackie here. How's it going, everybody? I've recorded several Dork Forests today, and I'm proud of it. I'm happy to be part of what people love to love. That's right. Love is the most... Anyway. So right now, I'm in my garage, and I'm about to talk with Rory James, who is a very funny comic, someone I enjoy. And he is going to have a new special by the end of the year. Look forward to it. Look around for it, because it's not out yet. But it's going to be called An Acquired Taste, or just Acquired Taste.
Yes, that's right.
That's it. And Rory James on the Instagrams and such is It's Rory James, ITSRORYJAMES. Welcome to the program, Rory James, guy who likes casual dining, not fast food. Casual dining seems like fast food, but it's not. What is it?
It's called fast casual. And and I'm happy. I would love to get down to the nitty gritty of what does distinguish the difference between fast food and fast casual.
Yeah, I actually fast casual. I'm writing those words down, you guys. Fast casual.
I think it's a great topic for a lot of comics, particularly if you're on the road a lot, because dining choices are important.
Oh, you know what? Just going to go right into about me. In the 90s, I never did this. I never did this myself. I may have told the story as if I did do it. I mean, I'm not Steve Ranazizi. I didn't say I was the hero of 9/11, but I think I implied that I had done the Subway sandwich stamps and had lived on it for a day and spent all of my money on gas money coming back from Colorado. But that wasn't me. That was a very funny comic named Spencer Dobson. But Subway sandwiches used to be the healthiest thing you could sort of get on the road.
Well, I love that you brought that up, because I think of Subway as the precursor to what has now become the fast casual boom. I bet you didn't know it was a boom.
You guys, it's a boom.
First of all, I don't know when else we're gonna get to this. I just have to say, Jackie, you were kind enough to plug my podcast. When I started my podcast 6 years ago, I don't know if you even remember this. You had a Tumblr that was in instructions of what somebody who wanted to have a podcast needed to buy and do.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was like, Well, Jackie Kashian has had you were one of the OGs of the show, right?
Early. I'm an early adopter of something that makes very little money. Feel free to donate, everybody. Okay, there you go.
And I was listening to Jackie and Lori, and you were talking about it, and I was like, well, I gotta get everything that Jackie says I gotta get. And so I started my podcast. And I think like you had some like very Midwestern vendors on there. Like it wasn't like go to Guitar Center. It was like they were writing me notes, thanking me for the business. It was all very wholesome.
Sending a handful of candies.
Yes, and I was
Sweetwater. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
exactly.
They have all good stuff though. It's not. I don't know where they are. I think they're out here. I don't know.
And well, anyway, I'm still on their mailing list, and so but 300 episodes later. And it all worked out. So also, I continue to make very little money off that podcast, but I love it. And so thank you for that Tumblr. That was super helpful.
Oh, that's great. And I forgot to plug it. Rory James has a podcast called I'm Super Excited with Rory James.
And next week we're recording our 300th episode. So it continues.
You're episode 779, my friend. And
that's pretty baller.
There's another 217 that were not pre-recorded. So they are a mess. Go forth and look for them.
Do they exist somewhere?
They do exist somewhere.
Okay.
And on my Bandcamp, I picked sort of the 17 best episodes, and they're free on Bandcamp.
I saw you posted too you do the best ones of the year or the ones that are the most popular, right?
Yeah, I do fan favorites. Yeah.
There had to have been some where you're like, I do not give a fuck about what this person is talking about, and you really had to pretend.
Yeah. Any number of ones where it's not, and I don't think of it as that. I think of it as this is not for me.
Yeah.
And but it's often usually where it's something scary, or it's something a lot of sports ones, and then some of the music ones. But other ones, like I have watched sports and listened to bands and gone to an escape room when it wasn't for me, and then I enjoyed it.
That's
so
true.
I get good things out of it, even if I don't. And if somebody's super excited about something, like I, for the first time ever, about a year and a half ago, went to a Chipotle.
Well, we're going to talk about it.
Not the first time ever. I had one time 10 years ago in New York, went out to lunch with a couple of very young comics, and they were like, let's go to Chipotle. And I was like, wait, that's owned by McDonald's. And we went, and it was just okay. And then Chipotle bought it back from McDonald's, and now it's better again.
Because I wanted you to be impressed with how professional I am. I did research, Jackie, and I could tell you that
sheaf of paper.
Chipotle, I know, and nice and a fun font too. Chipotle, I think it was 2006 that McDonald's divested from the Chipotle empire. So, but I can't believe you're somebody who didn't have Chipotle until that recently.
I know, because I'm okay with a burrito, but it's not my favorite food, even though a burrito is everything that anybody would ever want in a perfectly good traveling package.
But I wonder if it has to do with where you grew up, because for me, I grew up outside of Boston. In the 90s, and what was happening then was it's gotten luckily more diverse since then, but it was just all white people, and so we had a lot of Italian food. We had that was pretty much it, actually, and
that was the
Irish
food
doesn't
of
exist.
Choice,
yeah.
right?
Yes, Irish food, because that's my lineage, and I got in so much trouble. I haven't ever done stand up in Ireland, but I had a joke. I did an unfortunate potato famine joke that the Irish that they weren't ready for, and that's how I learned that I'm not really Irish. They're like, you're Irish American. You're not one of us. And so, and the whole
they're
point
willing to take your money when you go, because I'm half Irish, and I did do comedy in Dublin, and they didn't like me until I did my Irish goodbye joke, which was just about my dead mother.
I was just gonna bring up. I love that joke. I love what I've heard you do that joke, and I love that joke, and I can tell. But so I did thinking, and this was like pandemic, like TikTok is really popping off, and I'm like, oh, this will be like a good like way for me to like. I don't. What I was trying to say was that other cultures have such better food, and it was that thing of like, oh, I get to make. It's like you get to make fun of your own mom, like, or you get to make fun of. So I thought I was allowed to. I quickly learned that I am not allowed to. And so, and not only am I not one of them, but they don't think highly of Irish Americans, it turns out. So I had to apologize. Well, that's because
we're a bunch of just drunken louts. And
I'm from outside of Boston, it's true.
Yeah, and nobody ever immigrates, and I will say this till the day I die. Nobody ever immigrates anywhere because things are going well. So it's not the cream of the crop that moves on to the next country. It's usually desperado and dirtbags, like people that are desperate and they have diamonds sewn into their clothes.
And
So
that's why I'm not like that interested in my family lineage, because I'm like, they could be great people, they could be dirtbags. I don't know. I'm not going to claim them before I know more information. But the whole point of bringing that up was to say that there was no Mexican food, and
Okay.
so you grew up in Wisconsin, right?
right, there was a Taco Bell that came when I was in college. So prior to that, there was no Mexican food. There is currently a really pretty good Mexican restaurant downtown South Milwaukee on Milwaukee Avenue.
Well, it's funny you say that because I went to visit my mom, and she still lives in the house I grew up in the suburbs outside of Boston. And like, there were no people of color then. There were no. I'm a big gay homo person, but that wasn't okay. Now, I go to my hometown, and these two gay guys from LA went there and opened up a Mexican restaurant that you would find like here. You know what I mean?
Right?
So like,
Yeah, yeah.
brought the Los Angeles, and I was like, well, this would have been nice growing up. But at the time, there was no exposure to that. So
Right.
like, I didn't even understand. So, and yeah, it was like Taco Bell maybe. So when I moved to New York for college, that is when not only do I get exposed to Mexican food, but that's when Chipotle and the fast casual movement are really popping off. So it's a
Right.
confluence of timing. And so, and
That's my
when
dog.
I
Sorry.
got super into Chipotle. It was probably 2009, 2010. And in my research, I found out that that's really so fast casual starts in the early 90s, but it's not until the Great Recession that it really pops off, because what happens is
Is that 2006? Is that what you're talking about?
like 2008 housing
Okay.
crisis. I
Right.
was
I thought it
fortunate
was
enough to
6.
graduate from college in 2010, which was like the worst job market in a long
Oh,
time.
congratulations.
It was great. It was
Mm.
and I'm one of the
Did it build
entitled millennials. Yes.
Did it build character? Do you have all
So
kinds
much
of character?
and now I'm a comic. So look what happened.
Right.
But
That's what you get.
But the idea was that it was better food for people who, a generation that's a little bit more health conscious about what they're eating, or at least for body dysmorphic or whatever it is. But not a lot of money, because we're 18 to 34-year-olds who are just graduating in a terrible job market. So in comes this food option it's good food, but it's affordable. You're not going out to dinner. You're getting so Chipotle was introduced to me as also so much like value, because it's not just Mexican food, but it's like you get a shitload of it for like at the time $9.
Here's the scoop. A couple of things we should probably clarify is that Chipotle isn't really Mexican food.
Of course.
It's pretty good, but it's what it is it's better than me yelling at my dog to get out of my fucking garden. What are you doing? Anyway, so hang on a second. Go. Yeah, I spent thousands of dollars so I could have a fresh tomato in about a month.
That was like a Charlie, when you muted it was like a Charlie Brown, like honk honk, as you the horns.
And so it's fast casual Mexican, and better, by the way, than Taco Bell by a decades. So and even El Pollo Loco and stuff like that. But the other interesting thing is that I am wait, I had another Gordy. He's
Stealing
made
your
me forget.
thoughts.
Exactly. It's what dogs do. And but no, I'm looking forward to I like the idea that there was also some drama recently with Chipotle, wasn't there? Someone was mad that the portions have gone down.
Well, there have been dramas because there was also like outbreaks of E. coli and that kind of those types of questions. But I think the publicity around it is interesting because Chipotle has been such a buzz brand for the last decade that I think there were plenty of outbreaks of things at McDonald's and places that we have lower expectations for. But
right.
but to get back to the definition of what fast casual is and what separates that from fast food, the research has shown is fast food. So fast casual doesn't offer. You don't have a server. There's no table service. You don't order off
Right.
the menu and it gets brought to you. It's counter service. But the key difference is that it's higher quality food. Typically, this means less frozen stuff, less preservatives, processed stuff. And that's something that Chipotle is really branded, which is like,
Okay.
where it's non-GMO. The chickens are fine while they're alive until they're not.
Yep.
But it's
Right.
all, so you can feel good about it. So, but then, this is the other thing is that as I'm a college kid and it's just a bunch of food that gets dumped into a bowl and it's a lot. And, as a comic, you have a home comedy club. Well, for many years had a home Chipotle, and it was the one on Sunset and Genesee in West Hollywood.
Right. I've seen it.
I lived right by where Nerd Melt used to be.
Okay.
Which RIP, the great comedy spot. And so I would go, and over the pandemic, there would be this person who would like really try to milk how much you could put into one bowl, like to get like 3 meals out of it. So I can see why they have to have some restrictions, because I think some people just try to get all of the food at once. But regardless, like I would find myself being like, that's enough. Like that's enough of that, right? Like I don't need a mountain of food,
right?
Because I eat the food. I never have leftovers. I eat however much you give me.
All the food.
Yeah. So I'm like, don't put too much in there because it's just going to go in here. So, but in terms of what sets it apart from fast food, you get quality of ingredients.
Right.
And that also means it can be healthier, right? Just in general, either less calories or less preservatives.
Processing.
Now, that also means it's going to be a little bit more expensive than fast food because it has to be.
Right.
But you often have the opportunity to customize, which you don't get necessarily in fast food. You can say, I want a burger with no pickles and mustard, but it's not like these mixes and matches. That's kind of the thing, too.
The row of food that you get at a Chipotle where you can go, no, yes, a little more, a little less. Yeah.
Now, since you only recently had your first Chipotle experience, I have to ask, because I feel like, honestly, I think I had Chipotle for lunch for like a decade.
Okay.
And I went other places, of course.
What's
but it was
your go-to?
It was the default. I'm so happy to tell you. Okay, so because it's like it gets refined. First of all, they have lettuce at the end. No, lettuce on the bottom.
Right.
Gotta do lettuce on the bottom because who likes to get hit in the or it falls out or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's get the lettuce in there first. I don't need a mountain of rice. Give me like half a scoop of brown rice. That's what I want. Don't over rice yourself. And then you get a choice of black beans or pinto beans. I'm a black beans guy, but I don't pinto beans. It's a beautiful thing. They have fajita vegetables for people who are vegetarians, but I like to throw those in with chicken.
Sure.
Give me all the chicken and fajita vegetables. That's essentially peppers and onions. And
that's all it is. Bell peppers and some onions.
Now, here's the real trick.
Okay.
They want you to think about salsa next. I'm not ready to think about salsa because what I want is to put cheese on top of the meat so that it melts on the meat.
Right, because it's warm. It's warm.
Yeah. And don't you it's what's so beautiful about a burger or any type of cheese goes directly on meat. That's the next layer.
Right.
Then throw some, and this is such a beautiful thing because when I moved to Los Angeles, I had no spice tolerance. Now I go straight to the hottest salsa. Let's go. Bring me in. Are you a spicy foods person?
I like it. There's a diner that I go to here in Los Angeles, Magnolia Grill. I'm a person who wants to. I don't want to build my food. I don't like a Korean barbecue. I've gone out to eat. I expect to sit there and have someone refill my coffee. I'm just like Christians. This is what we're doing. We're just sitting there. It'll be real nice. And, they have a breakfast burrito there that is actually quite good. I forgot your question. What is happening?
That's okay. I think we're in the middle of I asked if you like spicy foods.
You're building a burrito.
I'm building my bowl.
Magnolia Grill has something called Firecracker, which is incredibly, incredibly hot. But I have since, what I would do is I was like, just give me half of the tiny plastic thing. And then I would draw a small line and I would dip. and I'd be like,
Ah.
can I take it? And now I'm on board. I can eat it all. I'm good.
And that is your
'Cause I
version
don't
of
like,
doing lines. Is that's
right.
that? Yes.
And there's no need for me with hot food. There's no, if I can't taste the food under it, you've made an error. But but I don't mind a little spice. And if it's tricksy, like you take a bite and you're like, that's not spicy. Back end. And then yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't like when I can feel it in my nose. Like, I don't like spicy mustards for that reason. Like,
Oh.
it's the show's
I
going
love
on in my
Chinese
mouth.
mustard. Okay.
So, all right. So anyway, so the salsas are happening. I love a corn salsa. Let's do that. I don't need sour cream, but I'm not mad at it. And then it's a reasonable bowl. And what I think is also nice about it is it's an incredible protein source. When you get those black beans and those and the meat,
chicken?
that is a great protein. Now, what I was going to ask you is, I have perfected this over many years. You have your first Chipotle experience recently, and I feel like I've often felt that I've been stuck behind somebody who's just come to Chipotle for the first time ever. Every time I go.
The pressure of the line behind you when you don't know what the jam is, right?
But wasn't it evident to you immediately, or did you have to figure it out?
It took a second. It only took once, maybe 1.5 times. The same with salata, which is one of those salad. I think it's fast casual as well. Now that I think about it,
would qualify, yeah.
But I have been behind people in situations where I'm like, all right, be patient. They don't know. This is the first. They're excited because there's a lot of choices. Anyway, I like at this time because I will now 3 or 4 times a year, I'll eat a Chipotle. I like a Chipotle. I always get the burrito, just because I don't want a bowl. I want a burrito. That's what I'm doing.
Do you like your items wrapped tightly, like they're tucked into bed?
Let's just sit down and try to eat just half of it and fail, honestly. And then, but what I like is the brown rice. Though I do like that lime cilantro, the white rice.
Yeah, the lime is nice. Yeah,
the lime is a nice touch. So I have gotten that, the brown rice if I'm feeling healthy. And then I do the chicken. I do the fajita veg. I do the black beans as well. I don't mind pinto, but I enjoy black better. Salsa, do it in whatever order you want because I don't want lettuce at all. Or cheese, honestly.
No cheese.
No cheese. No sour cream. Not inside. Are
you not a cheese person?
I like cheese. I was raised in Wisconsin. For a couple of years, I tricked myself that I didn't like cheese, and it was great. Lost some weight. But then I tried cheese again in some uncontrolled situation, and I'm back. But in a burrito, I don't need cheese in a burrito. It's already got a lot of flavors. It doesn't need it. A grilled cheese, by definition, needs cheese. And yes.
For many years I identified as leading a cheese-based diet. Like if I had to have something at the bottom of my food pyramid, it would be that. But I'm not saying it's a good thing, Jackie. It's just how I'm wired.
Here's my question. I like at Magnolia Grill they have a breakfast burrito that you can get with chorizo. It's delicious.
I'm writing it down.
And you can get it without potatoes, and you can get the sour cream and the avocado, which come on the side inside of it. I always get the avocado in. I don't get the sour cream. Don't need it. There is cheese in it. I let them do their own magic. But I have friends who are like, no potatoes, just the food and the no potatoes. Mm-hmm. But I'll do the potatoes in the burrito because I understand what they're doing. They're making it. I'm the youngest of 6. I know what's happening. They're stretching it. Yeah. And but I like avocado in a burrito, but it costs extra at Chipotle.
It does. But it's also now, would you prefer a slice of avocado or would you prefer a guac?
Oh, I'd prefer a slice.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a texture.
Yeah, that's a texture.
You want a chunk.
I just want a piece of avocado in it. It doesn't even have to be, when you leave California and you order a side of avocado and you get like 1/8 of a piece of avocado.
Yeah.
Here, just so you know, you come to California, it's fancy avocado days. You get a side of avocado. It's the same cost. It's $1.50 or $1, and you get a half an avocado. Yeah, because there's avocado trees outside my door.
There's no shortage.
There's no shortage of avocados here in California.
Now, what I think is beautiful about how you brought up Subway naturally at the beginning is that I think that Subway is a precursor to the fast casual, because now the ingredients are not up to fast casual. What am I saying?
Not anymore. Not
Fast
anymore.
casual standards. Well, but it was the customization option. Now, because like you were saying, a row of ingredients, which one do I pick? It sounded like you were saying before that you want it to be you don't want to do the pick and choose.
I'll go to a Chipotle or not a Subway since the food poisoning incident. And I'll tell you this, I think Subway was invented and in the mid 90s. I don't know offhand.
That's when it blew up.
Every store was responsible for their own vegetables. They prepared their own veg. Now there's a central area that gives them veg. And that's why E. coli happens. And that's why it has a weird cornstarchy vibe to it that I don't want any part of. And the bread used to be made in-house, and now the bread comes unbaked, but they make it in the factory.
And for a while it had the yoga mat in it. Do you remember that part?
Oh, that's now has the yoga mat.
I thought they got in trouble and took it out, and then they rebranded with now without yoga mats. Well, okay, but in high school I went through a big Subway phase because it did feel like, and this is probably what you were talking about on the road, is that you had some sort of autonomy in what was going into your food.
Right. You could get turkey, no cheese, just mustard.
Again with the no cheese. Jesus, Jackie.
But like black olives and green olives, like more tomatoes, just something to make it. Like, I don't do salad dressing either. And it's not because I'm trying to save, salad dressing is not for me. People love it. You
eat a dry salad.
It's never dry. Here's what I do. I order extra tomatoes, and then my favorite salad is a chopped Italian salad. This is not a positive experience. Salami is happening, right? But it's chopped into a kibble, right? It's literally the tiniest. I like a chopped salad where it's tiny, and then I'm just eating a bowl of kibble essentially, and but delicious because it's got salami.
Well, that is a great transition to a different fast casual restaurant I wanted to talk to you about.
What do you got?
So Chipotle really cornered the market on the Mexican fast casual. And as you correctly mentioned before, we're not pretending that this is the same as,
homemade Mexican food. No.
All of the wonderful places we have access to in Los Angeles and all of that. Yes. But I think Mexican food really does lend itself to this style because of the different fixins, right? So, but the question is, can you apply this business model to every style of food? And so salads is another area, and you have different competitors right now trying to corner the market on who. So to me, there's a premier salad fast casual chain, and we don't have it. We don't get to have it in Los Angeles, which is ironic to me because this is supposedly where the healthy body people live, right? This is where
By the way, if you ever come, there's a donut shop. Like they're like bars in Wisconsin. There's 3 donut shops on an intersection. There's no,
true.
It's so many donut shops for a place that supposedly nobody eats and everyone's super healthy.
Yum Yum Donuts must be a front for some other operation, right? There's just too many of them.
Them and the lamp people. Have you ever seen a lamp store and you're like, that can't possibly be anything but laundering money?
Well, there's also there's a rocking chair store on La Brea and like 3rd.
I've seen that. Yeah.
What gets to your attention?
And the Okie Dog.
There's all sorts of I don't want any part of it. But so I think the best
what is the premier
fast casual for salad?
Yeah.
It's called Chopped. And you were discussing chopping of vegetables and what's going on with Chipotle. So Chopped I think it blew up in New York because that's where I saw it first. And it is because everyone loves a chopped salad. And what they would do was Chipotle style. You could go. So for me, I would say I want a mix of romaine and spinach. I want feta cheese because that's one of my favorite cheeses. I want grilled chicken. I want pickled onions. These are my vegetables. And then what was really fun at the time when it first started was you could watch them chop it up. So they take out these big knives and they chop. They realized at a certain point that's taking too much time. So they chopped the vegetables before you get there. But I think they still do it in-house. I can't confirm that. But here's what I do know. I can't get a better salad in LA. And I was just in New York in April, and I had lunch at Penn Station because it was the closest stop. So I went and sat with the train people, and which, by the way, I love a train. I love that train.
Choo-choo.
But I don't lunch in Penn Station for fun unless they have a
No.
chopped.
Okay, here's what I am about to blow your mind, even though I live in the valley. So, but I believe
But so do I.
Oh, okay. There's a Westfield Mall on Riverside to Hazeltine. Over by the Trader
Sherman Oaks,
Joe's.
that's where I live. Yeah.
That's where you live, Sherman Oaks. Okay, so go into the food court in the Westfield Mall, Fashion Square, on the top floor, next to a place that's called Delight, not Turkish Delight because it's owned by Armenians. And but the Delight actually is delightful. Their Turkish Delight is amazing. I'd never had decent Turkish Delight, clearly. It's genuinely expensive. And it's very sweet. So it's just an occasional. Right next to it, salad place. I go there twice a week and I get a big salad that we share here in my home with my mother-in-law, who is her favorite salad. Now,
And that's the name of it?
Salata.
Oh,
Salata.
Okay.
With a T.
Well,
Here's okay.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just going to tell you, here's what you want to do. They have all of your greens, right? And then they have your vegetables, and then they have your cheeses, and then they have your fruits, and then they have your dressings, and then they have your proteins, and then they have like pumpkin seeds and sesame sticks, and then they have croutons, and that's where they're at, right? So I go, I don't want a fucking salad, first of all. So when I go, I get just a little bit of cabbage. Let's pretend that I am having some sort of base. So one small grab of cabbage. Then I'm there. So we're talking about tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, and then we're talking black olives, green olives, corn, English peas, and then edamame. They have jicama. They have celery and red onion. Then you go one more over, sun-dried tomatoes. Then there's feta and blue cheese. Mother-in-law loves the mix. You do it. It's nice. Mandarin, strawberry. She likes fruit in her salad. I don't, but I'm not the one who eats most of it. So next one is salad dressings. I don't want any of it. We have a bottle of ranch. That's what she likes. I don't want any salad dressing anyway. Next one, proteins. Don't want any. No proteins. I got chicken at the house. We keep going. I get just pumpkin seeds. A couple of those. She likes the sesame seeds because they're salty crunch on the side. We go in, $15.21, 4 meals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a value.
Mm-hmm. Check it out.
So, well, I know, and I was gonna say that when I almost interrupted you before, I probably live I probably live closer there than you, so I could do that. I could do that on the regs. And
I'll meet you. I'll meet you for it if you want.
We might do it. We might accidentally run into each other. But so you're an olive person. It sounds like, or is that the mother-in-law?
I like an olive.
You do.
She really likes an olive. I enjoy an olive. Here's what I like about an olive. It also will add some moisture and flavor to a salad. If you're not doing dressing, you always do an olive.
Oh, it'll definitely add flavor. I was gonna say I always think of olives as like the comedian on a show who has to make it like the whole night about them. Like that, olives do that in any food.
Overpowering?
A little bit, like my voice before we corrected the sound. Too much, a little. Just olives make their presence known. That's, I think, can be said,
and they deserve to. We all deserve to.
I'm really glad that you told me about this because I have been really complaining a lot that LA should, because my New York friends would be like, well, maybe New York is just built for like more of a just this sort of fast casual culture because they don't have time. They don't even have space to sit down and you know what I mean? They just need a salad and then on to the next thing. And I thought, maybe LA should have something, but maybe we do. And I just hadn't found it yet. So,
well, and here's the biggest thing about Los Angeles is, you'll find it. There's something everywhere. And 9 times out of 10, it's in a strip mall. Yeah, because the strip mall is essentially is New York in the 1980s. There are small businesses in every strip mall because it's affordable. And someone is a genius in every 3 strip malls. Like you go to 3 strip malls, you're going to find one place in one of those strip malls that you're like, the hell, why is the best shaved ice with stuff on it here.
Yeah.
The other day, and I like to say that I like to use all the parts of a strip mall, much like the indigenous people of the United States with the buffalo. And so if I like, there is a place called Tony's Mexican. It is on Coldwater and Magnolia. It is Baja. Sit down, Baja Mexican food. Tony was of Italian descent. His family immigrated to Mexico, and then he immigrated to the United States. And so his food, it isn't Italian in any way, but it's a very Baja Peninsula kind of Mexican food, and it's delicious. And it's one of the greatest. It made me use the nail salon next to it. That's how great that it affected my strip mall usage. I will get coffee at the donut shop in that mall. I never took Krav Maga, though that was available. There's a very mediocre Chinese place that I didn't enjoy, and there's a yogurt stand that keeps turning into something else. But it's always yogurt based. I don't know.
What I love about this is that you're not just interested in the place of business that brought you to the strip mall. You're now there and you're invested.
This is where I live now, is what I like to say. I live in this strip mall. What if I had to stay in this strip mall? This is actually very funny. I'll be doing it on stage. Look forward to it.
Please.
And because I say the other night we were over at CSUN. Andy and I went to Balboa Park, and then afterwards we're looking for dinner, and we pulled into a strip mall just to look up restaurants because we had not been over by CSUN, which is California State University. Northridge. And so we're over there.
Home of the earthquake.
And it turns out a halal Pakistani Afghani restaurant that what is this kind of restaurant called, Rory James? Where you go up and you order and you get a number and they come back to you.
Oh, that's it. Well, like sometimes it's a weird
shop.
metal thing, or it's a strange object. I think Jackie, I think that absolutely qualifies as fast casual because it's counter service,
right?
But it's not being thrown at you in a paper bag, you know?
Right. They come out to you with the food, but they have to know like you had to wait your own table. And sometimes you have to bust your own table.
But tips are not necessarily expected. And that's a huge part of this too.
Not as much.
Now you can, and I encourage it, and especially if you're like me and you go to the same place all the time. But I think that's a big part of it is that you get things delivered to you, and you don't have
$15.21. They're getting like $1.79 in tip. That's what she gets. She's not getting 20%.
Well, and I think that's fair.
Down.
No, that's totally fair.
Yeah, that seems fair. Yeah.
Says the lady who makes the union-made T-shirts. You know what fair means.
I know what fair means. I know what fair trade is. And so, get yourself a Ranger of the Dork Forest t-shirt, you guys. Dork Forest t-shirts over there at the website, JackieCation.com. This has been an ad.
You were speaking of strip malls in the Valley. Why don't this super really niche topic that I'm sure all of your listeners in the middle of the country are loving. But there in North Hollywood, there was a strip mall on like a little ways up, like Oxnard, I don't know, wherever. We're in North Hollywood, and it was this place, Mexican joint called Pepper, and they were just doing fast casual right. They were putting, I know you're a burrito gal, but I like bowls, just
like
mix things. And you know what I love is a Chipotle crema, that orange cream that comes in a lot of tacos, and that is. But
I've seen it.
Yes. Well, it's a delightfully tasting topping that I didn't know.
Thousand Island, or
it's in the yes, it's Thousand Island's cousin.
It's in the family. Okay,
in the family. And so, and I was like, I would order from it all the time, and when I would have friends over, we'd order from it. And this is an interesting thing about fast casual too is here's what I would like to spend money on. Tipping somebody as opposed to paying for the delivery fees. How do you feel about that?
The fact that people are paying $40 to have McDonald's delivered to them feels a lot. Do whatever you want with your money, but that feels, you leave the house.
Here's what I do is I pay for my car and my car insurance. What I'm going to do is drive myself to the restaurant, tip the people who work there, and bring it home and pay a lot less. And so this was the rhythm that I was in. And then the last time I ordered from there, I show up and they're essentially like closing up shop. I was literally the last customer, and the guy was like, "We're out of business, but we made you one more because you were loyal." And I was like, really? And that's another thing about LA that's tough is the turnover of places you really like, and how brutal how brutal of especially over COVID. Like, it's hard to stay alive, and the way that I justified spending a lot of money on ordering out over COVID was, well, I'm supporting local businesses, but that's
entirely
true.
Yeah, it's entirely true. And so now, there's a couple of chains. These aren't fast casual, I don't think, because there's no choice, which is Sharky's and Baja Fresh. Those are Mexican as well.
You're reading my mind, because this is an aspect of fast casual that's interesting. Is they're often customizable, but not always. And Baja Fresh was on my list. Now, have you noticed there are fewer Baja Freshes than there used to be?
True. That's true.
But I'm a big fan, and I'm always down for a Baja Fresh. Sharky's has gotten bougier. Like, Sharky's can be like an $18 lunch, and you're like,
ooh,
yeah, Sharky's. But so they've leaned in that direction, but I think it has to do with differentiation from Chipotle. Like, they have to be like, oh, we're nicer, I guess.
They're all organic. And
maybe.
And welcome to the world where the garbage truck is going to go behind my alley. But here's the scoop.
I live that life too.
Right. So here's the other question. Zanku Chicken.
Jackie.
That's an LA institution owned by my people, not the Irish.
On the list.
On the list, Zanku Chicken.
So, and we might even go to the same one, because I go to the one in Van Nuys. So,
on Sepulveda?
Yes. That's
that
where
just moved?
Did it move?
Yeah. It moved into a bigger, it's huge now. And
I was going to the one across from LA Fitness, but now there's
that's where it moved to. It
Okay.
used to be up further across from the Target on Sepulveda.
So I was first introduced to Zanku Chicken when I moved to Los Angeles. I didn't know it was Armenian owned. I don't know how I didn't know that.
I don't know. Do you know that the Green Bay Packers are the only team that is owned by their town?
No, but I'm also not from Wisconsin.
No, you don't have to be. All you have to be is around someone Armenian or someone from Wisconsin.
My best friend since childhood is Armenian, and so I had a lot of good Armenian exposure.
Massachusetts Armenian, right?
Is that different? Well,
it is different. I'm Wisconsin Armenian. So there's a lot of, we've melted. So you get here and you talk, and you've never seen so many Armenian people in your life. It's very exciting when you first get here. You're like, oh my God, my mechanic's Armenian. Oh my God, my bank teller's Armenian. Oh my God, the guy at everyone's Armenian. And then you realize that they're busy living their lives. They don't want to hear how excited you are that they're Armenian.
But Zanku Chicken was something that I learned about when I got here. And talk about portions. That is a generous portion at a Zanku Chicken. When you get a plate,
they do a nice job. You get a plate, you get a lot of rice. You get they had to start limiting the garlic butter just because people were going a little nuts.
It's so good.
It's really good. Really good. So I
would mention Zanku as a fast casual, because the quality is too good, but and you can customize to a certain extent, but they have menu items, and I like to I like to respect those menu items. But yeah, massive portions, and I literally wrote on this a bullet point that said the garlic dip, dear God, because it's that good.
So good.
So Zanku, do you guys probably get that a lot then?
We get it regularly. I think we cook a fair bit. So, and I don't know where you live, but there's a place that's probably a half a mile from my house on Van Nuys Boulevard called Ipapa Que Rico. And it's a small chain.
I think I've seen it.
Ipapa Que Rico, here's what happened. There was, it used to be a check cashing place. And then the guy put a grill on the weirdly shaped lot that he had. And now it's almost a quarter of the block. He's got a bakery. It's Cuban, Guatemalan, maybe Nicaraguan, maybe Salvadoran. And the chicken is delicious. Used to be a deal. You could get 2 full chickens with 4 sides for $30. Which is enough food for 6 people for a week. And now I think it's like $20 a chicken with 2 sides. So that's fine.
So, but this is an interesting topic too, because you were talking before about, Subway stuff and being on the road in the 90s and stuff like that. And there it seems like half of your life you're thinking about eating for Jackie and what Jackie wants, and then the other part of the time is like you got your mom-in-law living with you guys. So it's like you're also thinking about like, how do I feed other people? I live alone, and I think that fast casual is really good for people who live alone because it's like,
do you do any cooking at all? Do you enjoy?
That's a beautiful question that fills me with shame whenever it gets asked.
And I'm so sorry. That's not what the Dork Works is about, you guys. I'm here with It's Rory James, by the way. Rory James is his handle is ITS, Rory RORY, James JAMES. That's his handle. He's got a new special coming out by the end of the year called Acquired Taste. He's got a podcast called I'm Super Excited with Rory James. And no, not a chance. Don't worry that you don't cook. Who cares? You live alone.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate the double plug. And also, this lighting makes it look like I have a pimple on my nose, but it's actually just my nose. I don't know if you've been wondering that the whole time.
Oh,
but
I have not. Because I'm looking at mine. The cartilage. I'm looking at my face going, oh, the aging process is going well. Your neck looks like a flux capacitor.
You look great, Jackie.
It's all working out.
It is. The thing is that it's a different deal because when you're thinking about meal, like what are we going to eat tonight? It can be advantageous in some ways, but also, as I think you've probably discussed before, like sometimes you don't really get the final say. I get to live selfishly. You know what I mean? Right. I eat whatever I want.
Right. And if you're eating salads and sort of Chipotle, and I do think Chipotle is one of the healthier choices of sort of when you go out to eat, and it is reasonably priced. You're like, okay, here's $11. I have enough food for the night. And they throw a handful of chips at you. It's all working out. You might get a soda. You might not get any sort of soda because you want to be healthy. You go home, you have some water.
Yeah. They also have different like iced teas and juices and stuff. So that's fun. But so you mentioned Baja Fresh. You mentioned Zanku Chicken. I want to know if you've had any experiences with either Kava or the kebab shop.
The kebab shop, I think, is in the Westview Field Mall.
Westfield Mall?
Fashion Square.
There's one in Encino, too.
I'm not Kava. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Kava is Chipotle, but Mediterranean. So what's interesting is, I'm in Sherman Oaks. I'm on Ventura, around Kester, and there's a Chipotle that used to share with a Panera. Now, Panera I would describe as fast casual that I think has fallen on hard times because 20 years ago I liked a Panera. It was a great place to go with my grandmother. Now people are dying from their lemonade There were something had so much caffeine and sugar in it that people were actually dying. And I don't think that this is a cross-brand issue for Panera, but I think Panera is just not following the health-conscious ways of a fast casual restaurant is.
True.
So Kava is, so basic. I don't know. Do you like Mediterranean food?
I am Mediterranean food. I'm made entirely of Mediterranean food. Yes.
Then, okay, perfect. Because it's so you get to like Chipotle, you choose a base, right? There are greens, there are grains, but then where it gets really exciting is the sauces. Because what I like to do is combine a hummus with a tzatziki sauce. Jackie, I could live off of tzatziki. I kind of do.
I got a jar
sometimes.
of it in the fridge.
Me too.
Wait, no, I don't. I have a jar of tahini. Sorry.
Tahini was just more
doesn't stay. No, tahini is a sesame. It's sesame.
Oh, okay.
It's made out of sesame seeds.
Okay. Tzatziki
hummus is made out
yogurt.
of chickpeas.
Yes.
Yeah, and tzatziki is yogurt. Yes.
So those are I could
that.
sustain on all of them. Yeah.
Just spoonfuls.
Well, have you ever seen Only Murders in the Building? That show?
Just the first couple episodes, yes.
Martin Short's character, one of the traits about him is that he only eats dips. And I'm like, I think I could age into that. I think that could work for me. So with that, this is what's fun about
That's
Kava.
so funny.
But right, because because also if you get Stacy's has thin chips. A normal Stacy's pita chip is just like, it's a lot, but they have these thins that are good for dipping. So that's what I do with tzatziki. But anyway, at Kava, I like to combine some feta cheese, some tzatziki, some hummus, and some chicken, and we're rolling around in different vegetables. I think these vegetables sound more up your alley than Chipotle's vegetables do, just based on what you've told me.
Okay.
And so, and then, yeah, I think like Cava is essentially the Mediterranean Chipotle, and then they say that Blaze Pizza is the Chipotle of pizza. Have you ever done one of those?
No, but they're everywhere.
They are.
What is happening there? Do you pick the toppings when you go?
You do,
And they make you a slice, or
they make you a personal pizza.
Okay.
And here's what's interesting about it is that so Chipotle, after they had a lot of success with their model, they started buying up either buying out or taking over other types of food based on the same model. I don't know if for a little while there was a place called Soup House that was like Vietnamese Chipotle.
Oh.
Did you ever see one of those?
Soup Plantation. I remember
Soup Plantation that's a different thing. Did you ever go there?
I did, but I do you know that a place actually you might like to make a destination trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh.
Tulsa, Oklahoma is the place that does the testing for chain restaurants.
Oh.
So they have chain restaurants that they're like, if they work in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they will definitely work in Los Angeles and New York, Chicago and Seattle.
Right.
Miami and Tampa. And that's the first Sweet Greens I ever saw, was in Tulsa.
On my list, Jackie. So all right, before this is I'm just obsessed with this conversation, but I'm gonna Sweet Greens and then I'm gonna go
perfect.
back to Soup House. Sweet Greens that is what people think is the salad chain in LA, right? That's what people think.
They think that. It's not.
Well, here's my issue, and I don't know that you're gonna agree with me because you don't love cheese as much as I do, but cheese is considered a premium topping at Sweet Green. And not only that, Jackie, but not only do you have to pay extra for cheese, but this is the cheese option. A shaved Parmesan, boring to me. That's like a dry, that's not fun for me. Or a goat cheese or a blue cheese. Your mother-in-law, it sounds like she might like those, but none of those say feta cheese, so I'm not in. So I Sweet Green to me is, and I don't feel like they're prioritizing the toppings that get me excited. So I'm a no on Sweet Green. If I have to.
Yeah. It's a step in the right direction. Yeah. Here's what I think is, here's my question. I think there might be two of these, and it's not enough choices, but I think it's pretty reasonable, but it's a weird food that you might enjoy. In Glendale, there's an Armenian restaurant that you just go up. There's no choice. As a matter of fact, there's no choice. They sell one item. What do you think about that?
If it's great.
It's called Zengyalev Hats. And Hats is Armenian for bread, and Zengyalev must be Armenian for herbs. I don't actually know. But it is 1,000, like 6 different herbs and spices spread onto a piece of bread, like lavash, and then rolled up and handed to you.
I'd be down.
You'd be down to try it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you'd like it. But it might be.
No, it's so far so good. That sounds in my wheelhouse.
It shouldn't be more than $6, even though they're going through a lot of fresh herbs. But one would imagine somebody's growing a lot of fresh herbs because we live here.
I used to live in Silver Lake, so Glendale is a happy spot for me. I will always.
There's
make
also another
joyride.
place called the Manta Factory, and I don't actually approve of any restaurant that has the word factory in it because I don't want to eat at a factory. But that doesn't mean the Cheesecake Factory doesn't have amazing food that has too much of it and it's expensive.
It is expensive. I just brought my niece there, and it was like
$70,
$30 for a chicken part, like it was like fettuccine. I was like, what the fuck? But wait, you brought up Soup Plantation, and I think we should talk about that because
go there. You got to railroad me because I will weed off on you. So this is smart. Talk to me about Soup Plantation.
So I lived in West Hollywood for a long time, and there was the Soup Plantation right across from the Beverly Center at the Beverly Connection, home of the Nordstrom Rack and other wonderful places, and was one of the big early casualties of COVID because an all-you-can-eat buffet there was struggle.
Oh, yeah. Sneeze guard. Yeah.
It was also 2020, and I think a lot of people were rethinking their use of plantation in a playful way.
Yeah, Winter Spears has a very funny joke about it.
Is it about Soup Plantation?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I gotta hear it.
The word plantation, not ideal.
So, and all of that was definitely weighing on me even before they had to close down. But what was amazing was it was unlimited salad bar and soups and underrated, I think, to a lot of people, their pizzas, little mini pizza slices. They were great. They were great. And I was a big fan. And then I was very sad when they closed down because I liked the option of getting multiple soups. Like, 'cause sometimes like soup isn't a meal, but if I could get like a big ass mountain salad, like 2 mini soups, and then a couple of pizza slices, now I've had myself a meal. And then, Jackie, the best part was that you could top it off with a mini soft serve cone. And then I would walk out with my little mini cone. And I felt 8 years old, but that's where my maturity is anyway. So I was very sad when Soup Plantation closed, but also I thought they had changed their name to Sweet Tomatoes in some markets. And I wish they had just done it across the board because I don't think that helped.
Right. The plantation did not help. Now, things like Hometown Buffet, which also went under during COVID, because all buffets are dumb. Whether it is an Indian restaurant where you're just like, I don't necessarily just want a giant bowl of sag paneer. Calm yourself. I would like to just order from, because again, I want to sit down, I would order my food, and I want them. There used to be a thing called a Mongolian barbecue. Remember the Mongolian barbecue idea?
Yeah.
Where you would pick all the food and then they'd throw it all on either a giant round thing or in a wok. And then they'd make it in front of you. They'd scoop up some rice and they'd put it on a sizzling plate and give it to you. And then you went and sat down like an animal. I was like, there's one, I think, on Fulton and Burbank, kitty corner from the Sharkies. So, and over by the Valley College. And but those are not fast casual, right? Because you're not, but you still have to stand in line and get yourself some food. And it is healthier. I will say this about a Mongolian barbecue. That's all fresh ingredients. The meat is fresh. The vegetables are fresh. It's cooked right then and there in front of you. And it's usually, I mean, it might be as much as $17, but it is kind of it's probably a treat if you are a college kid on a fixed income. So,
but I was curious, because, like when you're on the road and you only have to worry about feeding yourself. Do you have some staples? Like, obviously, when you go to certain cities, there are certain places that I'm sure you're like looking forward to return that you could only find there. But are there like sort of are there any chains or anything that like when you're in a place that doesn't have great local cuisines? Is there anything that you're like, that's a Jackie Kashian go-to?
I'll say I think a Chipotle might be my new go-to, actually, just because it is. Right, just because it is pretty healthful as far as it goes. I've been trying to do. Maria Bamford loves this, so it's not a chore for her to order a chicken Caesar. It's her favorite food, the chicken Caesar salad. And I'm like, what would Maria? She'd probably get a chicken Caesar instead of, because one thing I don't enjoy is because I travel a lot and people are like, you have to try the shrimp and grits. And I'm like, I don't. Why do you get to eat a salad? And they're like, well, because you're never here. And I'm like, I'm here often enough that I've tried the shrimp. It's okay. And I like, I don't mind going to the grocery store and getting a bunch of fruit so that I know what I'm eating, because otherwise you're trapped at a Hampton Inn and you're eating out of the closet next to the check-in. And that is never a good thing because it's usually a frozen ramen or something like that.
Yeah.
And, or a lean cuisine. there's trouble.
Which I'm not
But-
above, by the way.
No, I'm not above it either. Yeah, I'll do. What I don't like is the very small, very mediocre, nukeable, hot pockety burrito kind of thing.
Mm.
Where you're like, why is this 420 calories? And it's like 3 bites.
Right.
And
right.
and I'm not 6'4", or however you seem tall. Right? Are you tall?
That's a great observation. I'm 6'1" and I'm 180 pounds, and I have a lot of energy, so I work out a lot. So I do require a lot of calories, but but I'm also 35, and it's so
TikTok, man.
Yeah,
TikTok. Yeah,
well, thank you.
It will. Yeah, that's what'll happen. Your metabolism will slow down, and nothing you can do about it. But I will say that. Do you have any other? Because we're pushing an hour here. What do you like? What you got? Anything?
All right, let me just consult the list. You really guided us to a lot of things that I was going to bring up. I will say we mentioned Blaze Pizza, and I'll just say that I think so. So one of the we were talking before about how Chipotle tried out their model on other types of food, and they had initially gotten into pizza and burgers, but they've pulled out because both of those are very competitive markets. Like Chipotle won Mexican food, but it's hard to win at all of them. And I think the thing about Blaze Pizza is, while it's nice to get a personalized personal pizza, because I went to college in New York, I want a slice. I want a New York slice. I don't need a personal pizza. Give me 2 big ass slices. And you know where you can get that for me in the Valley is Mulberry Street Pizza. There's one in Encino. There's one in Sherman Oaks. That's as New York pizza as it's going to get in LA, as that I've found. So that to me, I want pizza. To me is are slices. It's not. I don't need the whole fucking thing. And so that's, I think, a great place to leave off. Oh, also, are you a tuna fish sandwich person?
I don't mind a tuna fish sandwich. Some people find it disturbing. I'm on board. Maria likes an egg salad, if I remember correctly.
Well, this place has both of them, so maybe you and Maria should go together. It's called Health Nut. There's a bunch in the Valley.
Oh.
And Maria might like it because of that, but it's the one that I go to is on Van Nuys Boulevard, and I am a regular all the time. They know me by name there.
Is it by Humphrey Yogurt? Is it by that Gelson's?
It's by the It's in the Gelson's part. It's in the whole Gelson. And by the way, I think that qualifies as an upscale strip mall. But
very much so.
I get very protective. Once I'm a regular, I get really protective of the people who work there. So like whenever someone's like it like infuriates me when someone's being disrespectful to it's the 19-year-old cashier at the fucking Chipotle or whatever. So I've had some incidents, Jackie, where I've gone off on people for it. I get very protective. And
have you been a bit of a meat shield? Have you stepped up? What have you done?
I wouldn't listen. I know that reference, and I don't want to. I wouldn't put myself on that pedestal. But there was an incident at my former Chipotle where this guy was like getting in this 19-year-old girl's face, and like the Boston came out of me, like it was, and the Irish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's another version of me. And so, and I got in his face, and like people have been like, "What if he had a gun?" And I was like, "I don't fucking care." And then after that, the manager like took me aside and shook my hand, and I got like comped like every other time. And that's not why I did it, but it was just it was just like
you were rewarded for being a decent person, but you weren't looking to be rewarded for being a decent person. The only reward for being a decent you weren't even looking for. You were just like, "Hey, man."
I was looking for a lunch. Yeah. And also like, if that's how I go down, like, so be it, because like, that's like, I can't not say something. At Health Nut, they've started really taking care of me too. And so I feel protective of them, but they have a tuna sandwich that is so satisfying. I get it like at least once a week. And there's an egg salad sandwich as well. And there's a chicken salad sandwich as well. Anyway, that's another fast casual.
I made chicken. My mother-in-law loves chicken salad. I make a chicken a week because I like a chicken. But I might actually drive down and pick up a tuna salad sandwich for her because she loves a tuna salad sandwich as well. And this might be, it's kind of fun. There's a Hawaiian barbecue place up Van Nuys, kind of by the movie theater, the Plant. And in that strip mall, or in that series of strip malls, and the Hawaiian barbecue has the greatest, for her, macaroni salad.
Oh, wow.
She's an old Southern lady, and what she likes is some mayonnaise. And you're like, I am here to make your last years, I guess, somehow bearable. And Rory, we did it.
We did it.
Thank you so much for being on the show. He's got a podcast. It's called I'm Super Excited with Rory James. I bet you could tell that he's super excited. New special going to come out this year, so why don't you just follow him and find it. It's Rory James, ITSRORYJAMES. Thank you very much. I didn't know what this would be. It was awesome. Well done.
Jackie, thank you so much. You're the best.
All right. And Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
Hey, doll, how was the show?
Well, it was silly. I liked it. And I think everyone else did too, probably. But it was about fast casual dining with stand-up comic Rory James.
Fast casual dining. So
right.
That's a step up from fast food, right?
That's exactly what it is. And it's Rory James is his handle. And he has a podcast called I'm Super Excited with Rory James.
Okay.
Which is a great name for a podcast. But fast casual, a lot of people just call it Chipotle. Is what he's talking about.
Wait a minute. I think you get table service with fast casual, right?
No, that's the thing.
No.
It's not.
Okay.
Fast casual, what he said was that it's fresher. The food is fresher.
Okay.
And you have usually more choices.
Than what?
Than fast food.
Okay.
The food is the precursor to fast casual was Subway.
Okay. Okay. And that wasn't considered
and it's not considered no. And it wasn't considered even fast casual. But I think it's where you get sort of like Mongolian barbecue.
Right.
Where you get to pick the foods and then they put it in a wok.
Right, like salata. Or like you're saying, Chipotle. Okay. So basically, when I get to point at the ingredients, but then I still have to go to the counter and then take my own tray to whatever bolted down table.
It's still institutionalized. And
right.
Whenever I'm eating on a tray, I always think, what crime have I committed?
Is a cafeteria fast casual?
Oh, a cafeteria. I wonder if it would have been. All I know is I told him about Salata, and he lives kind of near the the Fashion Mall in Sherman Oaks.
Yeah, Fashion Square.
Right, and I said, "Oh, we could go together," and he said, and I quote, "Well, maybe we'll meet there one day." So he didn't want to go to lunch with me.
A big nah.
Bro, let's not do it. But
that's all right.
Sure.
You're like, that's fine. I have a lot of friends. I don't need more friends.
We don't have to meet at Salata. I always go to Salata and bring it home anyway. So.
Oh, well. He would be a fast casual friend.
He's my fast casual friend, Rory James. It was fascinating, though. So I recommend everybody listen to it again.
It makes me want to go to Clifton's, but it's closed down for the moment.
Oh, is it? Is it in between? Is it in between?
Yeah. It got bought and is being renovated, but it's supposed to reopen.
Clifton's is downtown Los Angeles and has trees in it, if I remember correctly.
That's right. It's Clifton's Cafeteria. It's been around since like the 30s in various forms, and bar one level, like it's this 4-story thing, and there's a bar at one level, and the decorations were all cool. When we went into it, we went in like 10 years ago.
Right. And we loved it.
And it was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to go again, but it was closed. But I think it's going to open again.
It'll open again. It's too cool not to have somebody buy it and redo it.
That's right. So that was my little ad for Clifton's.
There you go. I wonder if Rory James would like Clifton's. But it was a fun episode. I hope everybody liked it. And
we might meet him there one day, accidentally.
And Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?